Schedules have three purposes. All schedules, whether for planning a party or updating a website, serve three purposes. The first is to make commitments about when things will be done. The schedule provides a contract between every person involved, confirming what each person is going to deliver over a particular period of time. Generally, when people think about project schedules, it's this first purpose that they're thinking about. Schedules are often focused externally, outside the project team rather than within, because they are focused to help close a deal or comply with a customer's timeline. Often the customer is explicitly paying for the timeline as well as for the service provided. Think UPS or FedEx. In order to allow customers or partners to make plans based on a given project, a time has to be agreed upon for when specific things will happen. The second purpose of a schedule is to encourage everyone to see her efforts as part of a whole and to invest in making her pieces work with the others. Until there is a draft schedule suggesting specific dates and times for when things have to be ready, it's unlikely that connections and dependencies will be noticed. Without a schedule, everyone will focus on her own tasks and not think about how her work will impact others. It's only when the details are written down, with people's names next to them, that real calculations can be made and assumptions examined. This is true even for small teams or for individuals working alone. There is psychological power in a schedule because it publicizes the commitments being made. It is not as easy to forget or ignore something when it's posted on a whiteboard in the hallway, reminding the team of what needs to be done. And specific to PMs, with a draft schedule in place, questions about how realistic certain things are can be raised, and comparisons can be made between what the project is being asked to do and what is even possible. This psychological shift is called a forcing function. A forcing function is anything that, when put in place, naturally forces a change in perspective, attitude, or behavior. So schedules are important forcing functions for projects. If used properly by a PM, schedules force everyone to carefully think through the work they need to do. This forcing function is a critical step toward realizing the project's potential. Even if the schedule slips, is doubled, or is halved, the commitments and connections everyone has made as a result of drafting the schedule can be maintained. So, this second purpose of a schedule can be achieved and can be entirely worthwhile, even if the schedule itself turns out to be seriously inaccurate. For example, if the project comes in very late, the existence of a schedule will still enable the project to be completed. The third purpose of schedules is to provide a tool to track progress and break work into manageable chunks. Breaking things down into a 1 or 2 day size helps people understand what they need to do. Imagine if, when building a house, the builder gave one line item: house, 120 days. With such low granularity, it's difficult for anyone, including the builder himself, to understand the work. But if the builder can provide a week-by-week breakdown of activities, everyone can understand what tasks will be done when, what the priorities are, and ask meaningful questions and clarify assumptions. From the PM's perspective, a good schedule gives a clearer view of the project, flushes out challenges and oversights early, and increases the odds that good things will happen. The larger and more complex the project, the more important schedules are. On larger projects, there are more dependencies between people, and decisions and timings have greater odds of impacting others. When you have a handful of people working on a small team, the odds of people recognizing problems in each other's work are much higher. Schedule slips on small teams aren't good news, but, in such a case, a half-day slip represents an additional half-day of energy for 3 people only, so recovery is possible. Someone can stay late one night or, if necessary, the team can all come in together and help make up the time. On a larger project, with dozens or hundreds of people and components, a one-day slip can actually cascade and create problems in all sorts of unforeseen ways, which is often beyond a team's point of recovery. Either way, a big team or small, schedules give managers and bean counters the opportunity to ask questions, make adjustments, and help the team by surfacing and responding to issues as they arise. With these 3 purposes in mind, it's easy to see that perfect schedules don't solve all of the problems that projects have. A schedule cannot remedy bad design or engineering practices, nor can it protect a project from weak leadership, unclear goals, and poor communication. So for as much time as it takes to create schedules, they are still just lists of words and numbers. It's up to someone to use them as a tool for managing and driving the project. With this in mind, it's time to bring out the big vocabulary and explore software methodologies, the heavy machinery of project management.